Hello and welcome to the Jewish sugar-free recipe time. My name is Zippi and I'm a sugar-free nurse. And do you love lox? I do. I've learned how to make it myself and it's so delicious, so easy. This is Erev Pesach. Welcome to my messy Pesach kitchen. But I grew up in a family that doesn't eat gebrox or matzah shruya, as we say in Israel. And thank God my husband does. This recipe is amazing because there's no kidneyot, no matzah shruya, no gebrox, no nothing. Easy peasy. All you need is a nice piece of salmon. Now here's the thing, you know that I'm a fan of good enough. And if you want this salmon to be perfect, you should buy a very nice fresh piece. But for me, I never know when I'm gonna have the time to make it. So I sort of want that salmon just available to me in the freezer. So good enough is any frozen fillet, salmon fillet that you buy. So I got a really big piece and I cut it into two because one I'm going to make with some dill and one I'm going to make without dill because the dill really does kind of take over. I'm going to show you how I prepare it. So I have a piece of salmon and what I have here is about half a cup of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of coarse pepper, and yes, I did put in 1 heaping teaspoon of sugar, which is going to be for this whole salmon fillet. First of all, when it's not Pesach, I use monk fruit in the recipe instead of sugar, but I don't have kosher for Pesach monk fruit. I'm not going to buy sweetener, and my whole family like this. My kids eat it. I want it to be safe for them because most sweeteners are not safe for children and pregnant women. And the truth is that if there's a very, very small amount of sugar or date honey or honey in it, and it's like for a sauce of a huge pan of chicken or like we're doing here in the salmon, I don't think that's, for me, I'm okay with that. That doesn't trigger me, so I use it. So what basically we do is this. I take some saran wrap and place it on the counter, and then I'm going to cover the salmon with the salt mixture that I made and leave it in the fridge in a pan with something heavy over it, like a bowl of water or something heavy over it, for 3 days. You can leave it even just for 24 hours. You can leave it for 2 days. You can leave it for 3 days. After 3 days, it's better to take it out. I'm going to show you how I do it. Here I have the salt. Now, if you want somebody who really needs amounts, which I'm not a person who uses doesn't measure when it comes to cooking. Baking, yes, and I hardly bake, if you want to know the truth. So when it comes to cooking, I'm not an amounts person. I kind of do it with the feel. So I basically want a thin layer of salt on each side of the salmon. Place this skin down. Okay, I also get the sides. Now it's nice and covered. I wrap it up with the saran wrap. First half, I do try to make it so that it's wrapped nice and tight so that the salt really does touch all the sides of the salmon. Usually my husband's around to help me with this, but he's not. He's with my grandchildren, helping my daughter-in-law so she can prepare for Pesach. Get out the air. I've wrapped it nice and tight. I'm going to put it in a pan, and now I'm going to make the second piece, and I'm going to make it with dill. Here again, I usually make it with fresh dill, but I don't have fresh dill right now in the kitchen. I have frozen dill, so I'm going to try it with frozen dill. I think it's going to come out just fine. Maybe it'll even come out better, because sometimes when I make it with dill, it takes over from the taste. I like dill, but to a point, except in chicken soup. In chicken soup, it's the best. So, okay, I'm putting another layer of salt, of my salt mix. Place it, skin down in the saran wrap. Cover it with some more salt. Now, I am going to tell you that once it's cured, I don't like it very, very salty. After like 2 or 3 days in the fridge and it's cured, I soak it in water to dilute the salt because I find it a bit too salty after the curing, but some people really like it like that, so it's a matter of taste. And when you do dilute it, you have to kind of keep tasting a little piece of the fish to make sure you're not diluting it too much. So what I do is I basically just soak it in a pan of water for like 5 minutes, take it out, taste the fish. If I need to do another 1 or 2 soaks. Now we're going to take some of our frozen dill. I take just the green part and I don't do too much, just a little, a few sprigs here and there. It gives it a completely different flavor. Now, I'm gonna give you another tip. I've lately gotten into smoking meat on the barbecue. I have a gas grill, and don't ask me how I do that. That's not something I'm gonna put in a recipe because it's a labor of love. You either love doing it or you don't. And you can look it up on YouTube. But you can also smoke fish. So let's say this one, that's not with the dill. I just may, after it's cured, you can also freeze it, by the way. Like usually what I'll do is I'll separate it into pieces and freeze it after it's cured. But the one without the dill, I may keep it for a cold smoke, which is basically what you do is you don't cook the fish, you cured it, and then you smoke it without heating, which is a bit trickier to do without a smoker, but I've done it and it comes out amazing, but it's a real pachkarai. Smoking is a labor of love. So right now we're not smoking, we're curing. This is the second fish. Now I just place them one on top of the other, like this. Then I'm going to find a dish. I usually don't like using disposables. I'm not a big fan of them, but you also know that I'm a very pragmatic person, and sometimes we have to make allowances, and sometimes it can't be perfect and it can't be exactly the way I would love it to be. And if the choice is no salmon because I can't find fresh salmon, or frozen salmon that I'm gonna make into lox, I'm gonna make frozen salmon into lox. And if it's a matter of spending a half an hour because it's Erev Pesach looking for the right container or the right thing to put the water in, I'm gonna use disposable because that's what I have right now. I put this basically as a weight on top of the salmon, and now it goes into the fridge, and that's it. You're done. It is so easy. And it is so delicious. My grandchildren love it. Tell me what you think. Let me know how yours came out. And have a happy Pesach, even though you'll probably see this after Pesach. This is definitely one of my favorite fish recipes. So I hope you enjoyed it. And like, share, follow for more. Did you like this recipe? You can get more. Why don't you download in the link around this video my free, easy Jewish sugar-free recipe guide. In the guide, there's also a link to my program, Jewish Sugar-Free Recovery Program, if you're looking how to get free from the slavery of sugar addiction. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.